going to mute because we're going to have electrical people checking something out.
Okay. All right, so let's get started on our back. I'm just going to grab my little balls to have within reach. So come onto your back. And you'll want to also have a block within reach too. Just come onto your back and we'll practice that diaphragm vacuum Uddiyana Bandha breath by breathing in, letting the belly inflate with the breath, and then exhale.
I just want to let you know you seem to be a little further from the microphone. If you could either move closer or keep your voice up.
Okay, thanks, Barbara. All right, so the breath, how's that? Is that working for you, Barbara? Thumbs up, great. So breathe into belly and then ribs. Exhale the breath completely. Hold the breath out. And then imagine you're drawing the hip points and the ribs together. That's that. And there's a sense of sort of drawing the diaphragm up under the ribs. And just hold that until you feel the need, or maybe a little beyond, where you feel the need to bring the breath in. So I'll guide you through this, but feel free to find your own rhythm, your own pace. You breathe into belly and then ribs. Exhale completely. Hold the breath out. And then there's that hollowing out of the belly, the ribs drawing towards each other. But try to keep the lower belly relaxed. That's probably one of the trickiest things to do. And then when you feel the need to bring breath in, it comes into the belly and the ribs. You exhale completely, hold the breath, hollow out the belly. And now just repeat this on your own with your own breath. Just do 2 more rounds. And what you may find is the more you practice it, the sort of less rigid it gets, and it becomes more of an essence when it comes to the hollowing out the belly. So initially we need to connect with those muscles, but once that connection, and this might take, a few weeks, then it can be just a more subtle so that we don't feel it in our face when we're doing it. And now just return to your natural breath. Nice. Your arms come to the side, palms are facing down. As you inhale, the hips lift up. And then the arms come overhead. And we'll just do a flowing bridge. Lowering down as you exhale. Inhale, hips and arms rise. And just repeat this with a pace that feels right for you. Warming up the calves, the thighs, the glutes. And then next time the hips come on the ground, just pause here, clasp behind that right leg, and a little extend, flex the foot, and bend. And again, just repeat this in rhythm with your breath. You're welcome to close your eyes. So when we're doing these movements with our eyes closed, this helps to strengthen our proprioceptors. And that's knowing where our body is in space, which is a foundation of balance. And you also might find that when you close your eyes, you may be less distracted and more aware of the sensations that you're feeling. Next time that leg is straight, just pause here. Press the back of the leg into the hands into the leg. Soften the muscles around the face. And then bend the knee. Cross the right ankle over the left thigh. And just a gentle pressing of the hand into the thigh into the hand. Again, just warming up these inner thigh muscles. And release that. Clasp behind the other leg. And repeat. Now, as you're doing this, also check in with the neck. There can be a tendency for the chin to poke up towards the ceiling and the back of the neck to get compressed. Just check in with the neck, the muscles on the face, the jaw, trying to keep the jaw relaxed. It's amazing what parts of the body engage when we're moving different parts of the body. And part of that can be all that fascia connection. Next time the leg is extended, pause here, pressing thigh into hands. And hands into thigh. And then cross the ankle over the other thigh. And again, you just press hand and thigh into each other. And release that. Arms come out to the side. And if you want, you can bend the elbows coming into those goal post arms. So just notice this stretch. Might show up in new places. Heel toe your feet out wider than your hips. And then we'll do that windshield wiper action. And just notice as you flow from side to side. Does one leg, does one hip rotate a little more fluidly than the other? And you can let your head flow side to side. Just inviting length and releasing tension along the neck. You come back up to the center. Heel toe the feet back. Hips distance and your arms can come to the side. Now we're going to roll onto our right side, and this is where you can use the block as a pillow. You could also use a rolled up blanket. And you could also use either the ball or another block to place your left knee on. Now, this would be real handy if you had a mirror to make sure that you're lined up so that the leg, so you're not rolling forward and you're not rolling back. So you want to engage your core and see if you can even sort of have a space in between your ribs and the floor. And press your knee into the block or the ball, and then float the bottom leg up. And this is not only strengthening, but you're also just noticing how high this leg lifts, and we'll just compare it to the other side. So you can lower that down, and it may be that the leg didn't even lift at all. Now you can just roll onto your other side. I don't want to turn my back to you, so I'm gonna roll up like this. But you want to roll on your left side. And so you have your right knee on either a ball or a block. And as you press this top knee into the ball or the block, you might feel a little bit of engagement on even this inner thigh, just the pressing down action. Now, you could even roll a little bit forward, a little bit back, just so you can find center. And I like to just bend my elbow, and that seems to be a nice place that it just fits. And then you can lift up this bottom leg. Now, again, try not to collapse into the ribs. So engage the core so you can still slide your hand under the ribs, flexing the foot. And then you lower down. All right, and just note whether there was a difference in the two sides. And I think this is something that we might want to do without a recording so we can be more interactive and I can watch, but I didn't give you the heads up on that. All right, so now come back to the right side. You're lying on your right side. And this time you're going to come up onto your elbow, your forearm. And you cross, you may want to take your socks off, especially if you are on a slippery hardwood floor. You root down, so you're lifting up here, and you've got that top leg crossed over. You're just going to straighten the leg, flex the foot. Both feet are flexed. Now, this is going to be quite a bit more challenging than the previous one. See if you can slide. So the first round we did, you had it going straight from you. Now you're going to have that bottom leg veering out. So we have like scissors veering up to the side. Now press into both legs and see if you can lift up. In this top arm, you're just maybe resting it on your hips. And then lower down. All right, I just want to check in. Does anyone have any questions? Is anyone finding this challenging? Yes. The first few times I did it, nothing lifted. But it takes practice, and this was something I think when you find that you have an activity or something that you're motivated to strengthen your body in order to be able to do it, that can be huge. So straighten the top leg, slide the back leg back, flex the feet, and lift up. And so this can be interesting to notice any difference in the two sides. So you're pressing into the pinky side of the back foot, you're pressing into the big toe, and you can always use your hand here for support, and then you lower down. All right, let's just come up to seated, and now we're gonna play a little bit. So windshield wiper the knees. Again, this is a great way to just notice the top leg and how well it internally rotates. And you come back to center and grab one of your balls. And we'll do a round of that high inner thigh. So let's start coming onto your right side. Again, you can use your pillow or block. Oh, we're going to need, you need 2 blocks. So your head is resting on one block. And then this comes just in front of the pelvic area. And you want to try to get the ball as high up in the inner thigh as possible. And then we'll use the technique of contract, relax. Sometimes that can be helpful if this is really sensitive. And if you haven't done this, for most people, these muscles are really quite tight. So on your inhale, you're going to engage, contract the inner thigh. And that can be, you're sort of lifting up the knee. And then exhale, you soften. Inhale, contract. Exhale, soften. One more time. Inhale, contract. And exhale, soften. And now you can do just sort of a rolling up and down. We call this cross fibering. And if you find an area that talks to you, and if it's talking too loudly, just go above or below it. You don't want to feel any tingling or any numbness.
Charlotte, I don't understand this. Where is the ball?
So it's probably not helpful that I have black pants, but so it's right on the inner thigh and the block is here. And
In
then
front of it?
What's that?
The block is in front?
Yes, so let me just, thanks for asking. So you're here,
Yeah.
and then you have like, pretend like you're Tarzan and you have your little fig leaf,
Okay.
and then the ball goes here, and
On
then
the block?
on the block,
Ah,
and
okay.
the leg goes across it.
Oh, okay. Now I get it.
Okay, how does that feel?
Painful.
So see if you can do like contract and then relax, and sometimes that can sort of desensitize it a bit. And you stay with that. So if that still feels sensitive, and you could also not go so high up. The higher up is probably the more well, it depends on your body, but you might find slide it down a little bit. Just find a spot. And all else, take your squishy ball. Let's see how this works. And you could just roll out your inner thigh on the squishy ball. Like that's a good entry point. If this is too much. Which again, when I started it, it was yowza yowza. And it really makes a big difference if you do it consistently. All right, before we go to the other side, any questions? And should I just turn off the recording and we do this one more interactive, or what do you guys think? We're gonna flow pretty soon.
No, you can.
Keep it
Okay. I think I understand it now.
Okay, Barbara, are you giving yourself a little facial with the ball? These work really nicely for that too. All right, let's come on the other side, left side. And then you get your fig leaf on. And you may want to put it higher. You know, see how it feels at the higher point? I like the, the secondary point so you can adjust the block. And then you contract and relax. Contract. Exhale, let the ball sink in. And just do that a total of 3 times. And then you can begin sort of rolling out. And it can be interesting to notice if there's a difference in the two sides. You know, we do a lot of activities where we favor one side of the body. Shoveling, sweeping, raking. And so you may find that the two sides feel very different. Again, remember to continue breathing. And just a couple more breaths finishing up here. Then you'll remove the block, the ball, press yourself up to seated. And then let's come to standing on your mat. Come to the front of your mat. Have your
I have a
blocks.
question.
Yes.
I have a question. On the inner thigh, it feels like there are two long muscles
Yeah, I think there's
that
actually
are
3. Yep.
free. I feel it really is painful when I go across them with
Mm.
the small ball. It's like as they transition from one to the next,
Mm-hmm.
there's quite a pulling in my groin, it feels like. Is that a normal thing?
Well, anything that feels like too much, I wouldn't do. Well,
Right.
what's that?
Yeah, of course not. Yeah.
So
But
what
I'm just wondering, is that a normal thing? I don't know if it's hitting the bone or if it's from muscle to muscle.
I mean, it could be ligament too. What I might do, and I'm just going by the sensation, something that really, really hurts, we don't want to do. Put the
Yeah.
balls in the tote,
Uh-huh.
because then there'll be less, it's less, and
Okay.
then that might work. I should have mentioned that in the beginning.
Okay.
Or even do the inflatable ball. But
Okay.
if you're getting a lot of sensation,
Yeah.
it sounds to me like it would be beneficial to get in there in some fashion that's not causing you pain.
Okay.
Because it seems like there's a lot of tightness in there, but
Yeah, there must be.
yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Maybe ask your PT about it.
Yes.
All right, so let's let's do some flow. So coming to the front of your mat, just notice how your thighs feel after that. And then inhale, take a full breath in. Arms sweep up and then exhale, fold halfway. Press into the legs, nice long spine. Inhale into chair pose, weights on the heels, toes come light. And then inhale, rise up. Pause here. Flip your left palm up to the ceiling, grab the wrist, and then stretch to the right. Inhale back through center, and then switch. Inhale back through center. Exhale, fold halfway. Press into the legs, nice long spine. Hands on the block. Step your left leg back into a low lunge. And you could pad that left leg if it bothers the knee. With your blocks, exhale. You can walk the blocks back towards you and then inhale. So flow with this using your blocks so that you can maintain a nice long spine. And this is a good way to just get the juices flowing in the hips and the hamstring. All right, next time the knees bent, blocks are to the front, pause here. If it feels comfortable, inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, pull the imaginary lap bar. So feel the backs of the shoulder blades draw towards each other. Then inhale, reach up. 2 more times. Exhale, pull down on the bar. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, pull down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands come to the blocks. If it's comfortable, lift the back knee off the ground. If not, you keep the knee down. And we'll just flow, straightening and bending. A total of 3 times. Next time the knees bent, keep the left hand on the block. Inhale, reach the right arm up and twist. Keep pressing into the left big toe so you don't twist that back leg. Exhale, release the hand down. Lower the back knee. Take the right knee back to meet it. Blocks to the side, puppy pose. Slither into your Sphinx pose. Rooting down through the forearms, slide the shoulders down the back of the body. Stay here or come into your forearm plank. Pressing out through the heels. Keep pressing into the forearms. Your gaze is towards the mat. Imagine there's a ball in between your thighs and you're spinning the thighs inward. That's going to activate that transverse abdominal muscle. And then you lower down. Let's come all the way down. Forehead resting on the back of the hands. Knees bend and let them flow. And release the legs down. Press yourself up to table. Gather your blocks. Step the left leg forward. And we'll repeat. So you lengthen the front leg and then bend. Now you may find that having your hands on the blocks, you don't round your spine and you don't have to walk the blocks back with you. We want to try to keep a nice long spine here. All right, next time the knees bent, pause here. Inhale the arms up. Pull down that lat bar. 3 times. See if you can draw those elbows right into the side waist. And feel those muscles on the back of your body working. Yeah, after 3, you just pause. Lower the hands down. If it's available, you lift the back knee. And then you lengthen and bend, flowing with your breath. Next time the knees bent, pause here. Right hand on the block, and then inhale, twist to the left. Exhale back to center. Hands on the blocks. Step the back foot up to meet the front. Inhale, rise, gentle back bend. Exhale, fold halfway. Press into the legs, nice long spine. Right leg steps back for warrior 2. Let's start with that left hand to the inside of that left knee. So this is the area here, this inner thigh. We want to invite a nice stretch. Straighten the leg. And then guide it so that the knee is going towards the center of the foot. Inhale the arms up and out to the side. And then flow with your breath, in and out. 3 times. And you pause. Flip the left palm up and reverse. So lower body stays stable as a tree. The knee's not straightening, it stays just as it is. Knees facing out towards the middle of the foot, not drawing to the inner part of the big toe. Inhale through warrior 2. All the way to the front of your mat and step the back foot up to meet it. Inhale, rise, gentle back bend. Exhale, fold halfway. Press into the legs, nice long spine. Step the left leg back for your warrior two legs. Right hand to the inside of that right thigh. Straighten and then bend. Inhale, the arms open up. Flow 3 times. In and out of your warrior. Hold your warrior after the third one. Flip the front palm in reverse. Notice the stable nature of the lower body, the knee staying bent, tracking towards the center of the foot. Then inhale through warrior two, all the way to the front of your space. Step the back foot up to meet it. Inhale, rise, gentle back bend. Exhale right into a forward. Press into the legs, nice long spine. Right leg steps back, warrior two. Flow 3 times. After 3, flip the front palm in reverse. It'll flow through dancing warrior. Inhale through warrior two. Left forearm on the thigh, right arm overhead. This first one we're going to hold for a little bit longer. Press into the thigh so you're not collapsing the rib. Press into the outside of the right foot. Bring that long stretch along the side body. Inhale through warrior two and reverse. Inhale through warrior two, side angle. One more time. Inhale, warrior two, reverse. Inhale, warrior two, side angle. Inhale, warrior two. Windmill the hands to the front, step the back leg up. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold halfway. Press into the legs, nice long spine. Left leg steps back for warrior two. Flow 3 times. Again, if you want to close your eyes. Hold your warrior when you get after your third round. Flip the right palm up, reverse. Inhale, side angle. Let's just check in on the alignment. Pressing into that right forearm. Create space in the rib cage. Create a lift in the upper body. Maybe you can spin that left rib and shoulder back a little bit more. Can you feel the stretch along the whole left side of your body? And then inhale through warrior two, reverse. Inhale through warrior two, side angle. Warrior two, reverse. Side angle. Warrior two. Flow to the front of your space. You'll rise, gentle back bend. Exhale, fold half. Press into the legs, nice long spine. Right leg steps back, warrior two. Flow 3 times. No hurry. You flow with your breath. We'll hold after the third one. No need to rush getting here. You get here a little early. Just sort of go through the pose, relaxing the shoulders, stretching out through the fingertips. Nice. Let's take the hands on the hips, just dial the back foot in a turn, setting up for Trikonasana or triangle pose. Take that left hand, either above or below the knee. Press the hand into the leg into the hand. Spin the right hip, the ribs, the shoulder. And you can take this hand, the back of the hand, and press it into the leg. And if it feels okay, that right arm can extend up. But what you don't want to do is have the arm further back than the shoulder goes. So this movement is coming from the shoulder, not from the arm. Engage your core, and then inhale, rise. Reverse your triangle. Inhale through warrior. Sorry, just inhale up to your triangle. Hands come on the hips. Let's dial the heels in. So we're set up for sort of a squat pose. And just let the hips kind of rock side to side. So you're kind of slinking into this first squat. Inhale, the arms come out to the shoulders and bend the elbows. Pause here. This is your goddess. And you can alternate lifting the right heel. You might feel that in the inner thigh. Left heel. Just go side to side, finding your own rhythm. Maybe you lift both at the same time. Core stays engaged. Lower the heels down if they're lifted. Straighten the legs. Spin the toes so that they're facing forward. So the outsides of the feet are parallel to the short end of your mat. Have your block to the front. And then flex right at the hip creases. So no rounding in the spine. And hands can come to the blocks. Inhale, press into the floor or blocks, lengthen the spine. And then exhale, soften. Just do that a couple of times. A little pulsation. Notice where the weight is on the feet. Try to keep it balanced between the front and the back of the feet. All right, next time you exhale, pause here. You'll take your left hand, either on the floor or the block, and the right hand on the right hip. Inhale, get length. Okay, keep this right hip. Imagine you've got a little flashlight on the front of the right hip. It's going to stay shining onto the mat. You don't want to shine it to the wall. On your inhale, you begin to twist towards the right, but the right hip doesn't move. It stays shining its light on your mat. And maybe again, you can extend that arm up. So we're getting this rotation through the mid back while keeping our hips and pelvis stable. No rotation. Exhale, come back through center. We'll do the other side. Right hand on the floor or the block, left hand on the left hip. Inhale, get length. And then exhale, twist. Exhale, come back through center. Hands on the hips. Inhale, you rise up. Nice. Heel toe the feet together. And make your way to the front of your space. We'll do that on the other side. Just want to check in, see if there's any questions on that. Any questions on that sequence? Okay. Inhale, reach up, gentle back bend. Exhale, fold halfway. Press into the legs, nice long spine. Step the left leg back for warrior two. Flow in and out 3 times. Practicing, not hurrying. And after you do 3, take the time to linger. Linger in the pose and just make little adjustments that's a great, that's a great gift to give to yourself. The ability to sort of review your alignment and make your own adjustments. And then flow in and out. Oh, we already did that. Sorry. Hands come on the hips. Dial the back foot in. Right hand comes either above or below the knee. And then you press hand into knee, knee into hand. And you're looking for these muscles to hug the bone when you do that. Then once you get that, you could take the back of the hand and place it on the inside of the leg. And as you press into the leg, you might feel your core is engaged. This action of pressing in, not only does it help you rotate, but it's also engaging the core muscles. And then maybe you extend that left arm. And then inhale, rise up. Reverse your triangle. Inhale, upright. Take your hands on your hips. One more time, we'll come into those squats. And you'll drop down. And here we're going to have a flow. So be mindful of the knees, where the knees are tracking. You want to feel this stretch on the inner thighs. You inhale, reach up. Exhale, press down. 2 more times. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, press down. One last time. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, press down. Hands to the hips. Now let's do the heel lift rotation. So you alternate lifting right and left. And just noticing the ripple effect throughout the legs. And then you could try doing a little heel lift, balancing on the toes. Keep the core engaged, crown of the head drawing up. Release the heels, slowly release up. Heel toe the feet together. Let's go to the front of the mat. Inhale, rise, gentle back bend. Exhale, fold half. Inhale, press into the legs, nice long spine. Exhale, right leg steps back for warrior two. And let's flow in and out 3 times. All right, pause here. Now, option to stay here. You could come into triangle or balancing half moon. So I'll guide you through balancing half moon, but just wanted you to know there's other options. Hands come on the hips. If you're coming into balancing half moon, taking your block to the pinky side. And it's probably about 2 inches outside and 6 inches forward. Hand comes onto the block. You begin to slide the back leg up and you straighten the front leg. Now at first, you may have your hips sort of facing towards the floor, but ultimately you want to gear towards, you're kind of like a triangle. And then the right arm can come up. and then release. And reverse. Inhale through your warrior two, all the way to the front of your space. Back leg steps up to meet the front. Inhale, rise, getting ready for the other side. Exhale, fold. Inhale, press into the legs, nice long spine. On your exhale, left leg steps back, warrior two. And flow 3 times. Pause after your third one. And then you decide what to do on this side. If you're taking balancing half moon, set up your block. Hand goes to the block, you slide the back leg in, begin to start, and this is where you could just sort of flirt with this. Flirt with lifting the leg up, lowering it down. Eventually see if you can straighten the standing leg. And then maybe you can rotate and stack the left hip on top of the right. And the more you root to rise, you may find stability. Visualizing that that top leg is pressing into a wall can help too. Release when you're ready. Warrior two. Reverse. Inhale through warrior two, all the way to the front of the mat. And then inhale, rise. Gentle back bend. Exhale, fold forward. Press into the legs, nice long spine. On your exhale, and down onto hands and knees. Grab your blocks. And we'll go to the long end of your mat. I'm just going to adjust this. So this is probably new for most of you. Last new move. Let me just get this closer. You're going to extend the right leg out. And actually, you don't need blocks for this. And then, let's see, hold on. And then you're going to take the right hand. So this is the right leg, right hand. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, thread it underneath. Sorry, you're on the left forearm here. Thread this underneath. And we're just going to flow. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, reach underneath. Inhale, open up. Exhale, reach underneath. Keep pressing into that right leg. So you feel the stretch on the inner thigh. Last one. Come back to hands and knees. All right, that was new. And I'm not sure how clear my instructions were. Any questions on that? All right, we'll do the other side. Left leg extends out. You come on to the right forearm. Inhale, reach the left arm up. Exhale, thread it underneath. And flow with your breath. One more. Come back to hands and knees. Let's just do a couple of cat and cows here. Releasing the spine. Maybe some hip circles. Relaxing the head and neck. Reverse direction. And knees are walk, feet are close together. And let's stretch back to a modified child's pose here. On your inhale, rise up. And we'll come to our backs. And you may want to put your socks on, any layers. We'll do a couple of juicy spinal twists before relaxation. So have your everything you need for that within reach. And again, this is the time of the year where it can be really nice to have a blanket nearby. There's no hurry. But once you get onto your back, just take a few breaths, allowing the back of the body to surrender into the floor. Maybe let your breaths become a little longer, especially the exhale. When you're ready, draw that left knee in. Sorry, the right knee. And just do a couple of straighten and bends, just noticing if there's any difference in your leg from the beginning of your practice to now. And cross that right ankle over the left, just as we did in the beginning. And again, just notice anything that there is to notice. And then hug the right leg as you extend to the left. And take a few breaths here. And cueing, inviting the back of the body to let go of anything it's holding and just sink into the floor. And when you're ready, that right leg comes across the body for a twist. Can be handy to have a block to catch the knee. Inhale back to center. Give that knee a little hug. And invite the left knee up to join the right. And let's make some circles with the hips. Join that stretch to the inner thigh. Reverse direction. And release the right leg to the floor. Hug that left leg in. Just do that extend and bend. Just checking in. Extend the right leg. Relax the back. Placing the block to the right side if you're using it. And that left leg comes across. And come back to center, give that knee a little hug. And bring the right knee up to meet it. And then reaching either for the inner thighs or maybe the ankles for your happy baby. Maybe it's the inside of your feet. But try to keep the lower back on the floor. And you can invite some gentle rocking, massaging out that sacrum. Keep the neck relaxed, maybe the head gently rolls from side to side. And then bring the knees together. Let's make some circles with the knees together. Get a gentle massage to that sacrum. Reverse direction. And pause here, lower your feet to the mat. Grab your block. Slide the block onto the tailbone, sacrum, same thing. Extend the legs up towards the ceiling. Now you're welcome to stay here in stillness. Or you could take an inner thigh flow, letting the legs stretch out to the side. A little bend of the knees. And then a pressing out through the heels. Imagine a large ball in between your thighs and you're trying to squeeze the air out of it. That's a little flow if you want to take it. You release the legs open. You bend the knees. Press the heels out. Squeeze the air out of the ball. This is a great time to just close your eyes. Find your flow and get creative. You drop the legs long in front of you. A deep stretch to the psoas. Just making sure you don't overdo. Continuously listening to the messages the body sends you. Lingering where it feels right. And we'll meet up in stillness. The legs extended to the ceiling whenever you're ready. And the knees bend and you lower the feet one at a time. Removing the block. And then finding your shavasana. You can allow your attention to focus on your breath. If you want something a little more structured, you try counting backwards from 40. So you breathe in, it's 40. You breathe out, it's 39. You breathe in, it's 38. You breathe out, it's 37. And if you lose count, you start over. If you get to 0, you start over. A little practice in focusing on the journey and not the destination. Allow your next breath to be a little longer and a little deeper. And invite gentle movements into your body. Maybe wiggling your fingers or your toes. When you're ready, you can gently roll to your side, enjoying a moment of pause, a moment of gratitude for amazing things the body does for you. And also offering gratitude to yourself for nurturing your body, your mind, your spirit this morning. When you're ready, slowly make your way up to seated. And if you'd like to join me in a chant of Om, you can take a deep breath in. Namaste. Thank you guys for showing up.